While the UFC is still home to the best MMA fighters on the planet, more and more fighters of the highest caliber can be found outside the biggest promotion, and none is scarier than welterweight Roberto RoboCop Soldić. The doubleweight KSW champion and fresh ONE FC signee has monstrous power in his hands, well attested to by his 27 knockouts out of 30 wins. Roberto Soldić, nicknamed RoboCop, is of Croatian descent, and the inevitable comparisons to the legendary Mirko Cro Cop are well placed. Not only do they share a common background and similar nicknames, but they also have similar fighting styles. Roberto, just like Mirko, is a southpaw striker that relies on a triple threat from the left side: a left straight, a left body kick, and a left high kick. Each of these weapons wreak devastation and is responsible for some vicious highlight reel knockouts. The young Croatian is one of those people that everyone praises for being a very nice guy, until the cage door closes and he transforms into a beast. And what might be even scarier is that this beast is still developing and growing. Let's see the remarkable journey of Roberto Soldić thus far. Soldić was born in Bosnia to Croatian parents and played football as a kid, but quickly found out that martial arts was what he had an inclination for. After joining a judo dojo, a strong inspiration for the young Soldić, as it was for all fighters from Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, and the surrounding areas, was the legendary figure of Mirko Cro Cop. The incredible run he had in Pride in the UFC was concrete proof that boys from this part of Europe could also conquer the fighting world. With a dream of fighting in MMA, but no adequate training facilities in his hometown of Vitez, Roberto cross-trained in different gyms, switching between judo, boxing, and even his backyard heavy bag. The lack of full-time MMA gym training did not prevent him from making a successful MMA debut in his native Bosnia in 2014, hinting at things to come by knocking out his opponent in the second round. At 3-0 as a pro, Soldić made a dramatic change in his life in pursuit of his dream and moved to Germany to begin training at the UFD gym in Dusseldorf, where he had to also sleep for nearly 2 years. Despite having his first professional loss in his fourth fight, Roberto's unwavering dedication to the sport saw him quickly become one of Europe's hottest prospects. RoboCop had to endure another setback at the hands of the current Bellator welterweight champion, Yaroslav Amosov. The pair of promising fighters had a very competitive battle, but it was Amosov that got the split decision and the Tech KREPFC welterweight belt. It would seem the loss fired up Soldić even more, and in 2017 he would score 4 straight knockout wins.
And the rest in the blue stripe, blue corner. Oh, big shit! That was a big kick, Richard. And that's
it. Making circle after circle here. Now he's cutting the angle. Nice.
And again, nice. And a nice, very shaky legs. Beautiful right hand and a left hand.
Step in.
And go for
and the fight is all over.
Winning the Superior FC belt in the process. His successful defense of the title against Des Parker got the attention of Cage Warriors matchmakers, and just 4 weeks later, the Croatian was in the main event of Cage Warriors 87. Not a minute of the match had passed when Soldić embodied the legendary Mirko Cro Cop and unleashed a devastating left high kick that face-planted the talented Louis Long. The high-profile win accelerated Soldić's rise to the top even further.
And Long has got to be very careful about...
Oh, the kick! It's over! Unbelievable!
Roberto Soldić!
And a mere 2 months later, he was booked to fight the welterweight title of KSW against Boris Mankowski. The Polish promotion puts on events unrivaled in their scale and production, but Soldić rose to the occasion for what was to be his home for the next few years. The defending champion put on a valiant effort, but the power of Soldić was just too much to handle, and Mankowski bowed out of the battle after 3 rounds of brutal beatdown.
Nie spodziewał się takiego Oj, złapany na prawy sierpowy. Jeżeli myśli, aby ten nie katowany wręcz jest Borys Mankowski, on myślę, że myśli chyba, że już jest po pojedynku. Nie, przerwijmy tą walkę, bo to nie ma naprawdę sensu.
Further proof of Roberto's dedication to fighting is that during this period in 2016 and 2017, when he entered the cage 9 times, RoboCop also fought 4 times in the boxing ring, all resulting in vicious knockouts. Soldić's second KSW fight sparked a heated rivalry that we hope will be resolved on the world's biggest stage. Dricus du Plessis is currently on a 3-fight winning streak in the UFC, but he came on as an EFC double champion in 2018 to challenge Soldić for the KSW welterweight title. Roberto hurt du Plessis in the first, but the contender used his superior wrestling and grappling to wear down the champ, and in the second, du Plessis capitalized on a common flaw in the southpaw style of Soldić, dropping his right hand when throwing his thunderous left. Du Plessis landed a check left hook that floored Soldić immediately. An immediate rematch was scheduled for the KSW's return to Wembley Stadium. To avoid getting caught again, Soldić approached the fight much more technical and methodical this time. The more measured approach was the correct choice, and it was in the third when RoboCop landed his jackhammer of a left that spelled the end for du Plessis. Soldić exacted his revenge and reclaimed his welterweight strap. Roberto's next 2 opponents in the KSW couldn't even last a round and fell prey to his vicious left hand.
13 razy już w swoich 15 walkach.
In November of 2020, Roberto Soldić decided to see how he fared at middleweight, and did so in spectacular fashion. The KSW chose Mikhail Materla, their former middleweight champion, to welcome Soldić to the new weight class. But the Polish legend was bloodied and beaten in the first round, proving that the Croatian is just as dangerous at middleweight as he is at welterweight.
Seria i przerywa ten pojedynek. Roberto Soldić!
After knocking out Patrick Kinchel and defending the welterweight crown in September of 2021, RoboCop signed a deal to challenge for the middleweight title against a true pioneer and a legend of European MMA in Mamed Khalidov. The whole affair was conducted with the respect proper for a fight between 2 generations. Some would call it the passing of the torch, but Khalidov did not pass the torch to Soldić. The Croatian ripped it from his hands. The bout was very competitive for 2 rounds, but during a wild exchange near the end of the second, Soldić landed a devastating left hook that crushed Khalidov. Mamed was on the canvas for several minutes, while Soldić ushered the crowd to remain silent in respect. This is how Roberto Soldić became a 2-weight KSW champion and solidified his position as the most terrifying fighter outside of the UFC. With an impressive backstory and a fighting style to match, Roberto Soldić has everything to become a legend of MMA. RoboCop has already conquered Europe at 27 years of age and has every chance of winning the title in any of the largest organizations, at least in 2 weight classes. In a move that surprised a few heads on the 1st of August 2022, Soldić signed with ONE FC. Roberto announced on the MMA Hour that he'd received an offer from the UFC, but said it wasn't anything serious. However, ONE FC won his signature. I chose ONE because it's the biggest martial arts promotion in the world. They give me the opportunity to take all the belts. Kickboxing World Champion, Muay Thai World Champion, MMA World Champion. I am ready for the challenge. I want to create something for my people, for my own legacy. Only time will tell what legend Soldić will forge on the world stage. Perhaps he will conquer ONE FC and win belts in different sports, not just weight divisions. Another possibility of epic proportions? would be a battle between him and his rival, Dricus du Plessis, for the UFC welterweight crown. But whatever his path is, we will follow it closely, and so should you.